The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for attending today. Um, Today, I'm gonna kind of cover how to pitch digital to your clients. We've got an awful lot of partners, distributors that we work with, and the biggest challenge it seems that our partners encounter is how to pitch digital to their clients. So this is going to be a fairly brief webinar. I'm going to cover a couple of key points and hopefully deliver some value to you guys so that you can start really taking advantage of what digital marketing has to offer. So let me get started. Now, some of you might have seen some of these or this slide before, but digital is huge, and I promise you, all your clients are engaging in it. If they're not engaging in digital, they are not going to be advancing their business. I mean, everything these days is somehow connected to digital marketing. And in just 2016, digital marketing services sales were recorded at $613 billion. We don't even have 2017 numbers yet, and we're already in the middle of 2018. This is an increasingly growing field. Now, digital is huge in the sense that there are so many things that make up the digital marketing landscape. Some of these things you guys are going to be familiar with. Some of these things you're not going to be familiar with. And the other caveat with digital marketing is a lot of these things are attached to development functions, depending on the size of your client. There are other issues like migration issues. You know, the larger the company that you're dealing with, let's say you're dealing with an enterprise level company, the challenges that they're facing along a digital marketing perspective, but also an IT perspective, a lot of times these things go hand in hand. So you can't just take a small digital agency and bring them into the mix because they're not really going to understand large scale development projects, large scale migrations. And some of these migrations from like legacy systems to the cloud run 10, 15, $20 million projects. And so understanding how their digital marketing is going to fit into just what they're doing as a company or as an enterprise is extremely challenging. Now, obviously, the smaller the company, the easier it is to have a conversation with them about digital marketing. Um, Let me see something. All right. So consulting is the name of the game. If you guys are going to get into this field of pitching digital marketing services, you have to understand that you are now a consultant. You're not an order taker. You can't just walk into your clients and go, "What is it that you need?" and have them go ahead and tell you, and then you just write it down. I know when I was a distributor, and I'm just talking about myself because I know a lot of you guys are top producers that are on this call. But when I ran my distributorship, all I did was really take orders. Oh, you have an event coming up. What would you like for your event? I might make suggestions, but it was very easy for me to basically develop my relationship with my client. They loved me, and so they gave me all their business. I made good money doing that, and I just move on to the next order. But digital marketing really is consulting. You really have to go in, assess what your client situation is, understand how they make their money and how their business is constructed, and then you got to make recommendations that make a lot of sense, and they have to be recommendations that you can deliver on. So consulting is the name of this game. And understanding that different size companies do different things is extremely important. I mean, you've got businesses, 21 million of them, that are working out of their house. Then you've got small businesses, right? Mom and pop shops, they're actually paying rent. They actually have a couple of employees, or maybe it's the husband and wife working in the business. You know, they're wanting to grow their business. And then you have medium sized companies Medium-sized companies can be like 60 million to 200 million dollar companies, and then you have enterprise level businesses. I mean, these guys are your Fortune 1000 companies. These guys are developing global footprints, national footprints, and in many cases, they're also competing against all of these guys. I promise you, you can bring me a small customer, and I can compete with an enterprise level company for very little money, as long as they're doing certain things like localization, or they're targeting a specific group. Applying dollars to target a specific group in a specific area is very challenging for big national or global companies. They don't have enough money to spend to market to each and every nook and cranny from a location standpoint nationwide. They just don't. And I know, because I deal with enterprise level companies very often. I mean, I get in conversations with these guys. I know what their budgets are. So if you localize, you can absolutely compete against these big guys. And then, of course, medium-sized companies, they're the up-and-comers, right? They're focusing on larger geographical areas. They've got the dollars to do it. They're innovators. They're game changers. I mean, these guys are everybody in this lineup is in business to be bigger and grow bigger and go after a lot more money. I've said it, I don't know, for probably 8 years now. There's only one reason why we are all in business, and that is to make money. Even a nonprofit is in business to make money. Otherwise, they will have to shut their doors. They raise it however they make their money. That's what it's all about. So understanding what they need and having the knowledge to discuss that with your client is key. I mean, that's what it's all about. And there's a lot that you really have to understand in order to put together an intelligent conversation with your client so that you can uncover their needs, prescribe solutions. The big problem with digital today is there is a ton of competition. There are 147,000 digital agencies in the United States alone. Not to mention, it's a global effort, man. You've got marketing agencies and contractors worldwide that are targeting American companies, U.S. businesses. You guys are getting the emails. I mean, I constantly having to get on calls with clients to talk to them about why Google called them. And guess what? It wasn't Google. Hi, this is your Google rep, is what they say, but they're not Google. It's another agency with a scam call that they're sending out. There's email blasts talking about getting you on first page. There is so much noise that one more sound coming from you it's very difficult to break through that noise. It literally takes, sorry, I left the S off. It literally takes hard work and brass tacks to get through. Now, when I was a distributor, I pounded the pavement. I worked my network. I worked my referrals, and I built me a very big business, and I generated large margins of income, but it was hard work. I was constantly selling. And that process is no different when it comes to selling digital. This stuff is not going to fall on your lap. You are not going to be able to run a local SEO campaign and go on vacation because all the money is just going to come pouring in your bank account. I know a lot of you guys already know this, but believe me, I have conversations with people that expect to run I don't know, a $200 a month AdWords campaign and retire because all that money's going to come in. This is not the game for you if that's your mindset. You got to roll up your sleeves and you got to get out there and start networking and marketing. And here's another thing. I've got very, very close friends who sell for very, very large companies. I mean, I've got a buddy of mine, he's the MVP of SAP, right? He was a global MVP salesperson for SAP, which is like a $26 billion, $27 billion company. And if you think he walks in and does all of this assessment and stuff for a client all by himself and then leaves that customer and then comes back with a proposal and pitches it himself and does the diagnostics himself, you're out of your mind. I mean, he might get the appointment, but then they show up with team experts that specialize in the industry that the company's in, or the business process, or wherever the need that has been uncovered lives. These salespeople show up, that's how they show up, and that's how they pitch, and they conduct discovery calls with their customers. I've got another friend. She works for a company that is a public Chinese company that does big business in China. And now they're coming into America and knocking on enterprise level doors. She knows nothing about managed services. And by managed services, I mean very, very high-end, multi-million-dollar IT projects. She knows very little about it. But guess what she does know? She knows sales. She knows how to cold call. She knows how to network. She knows how to take people out for lunch. She knows how to get the appointments. And then she shows up with her experts. And these people come in and they do assessments and analysis, and then they uncover needs, and they get to the proposal. And they closed Toyota, and they did a huge $22 million migration for Toyota into the cloud. And they're doing really cool things with AI. I mean, there's a lot of exciting things going on out there, but there's no way in the world that you're going to be an expert in all of it. So there's a process, and this process, this is a gotcha process. This is our process, but it doesn't have to be. You don't have to get gotcha involved, but understand this is the process. I mean, with smaller companies, you might be able to kind of walk in and pitch them Gotcha Stream, or pitch them a local program right there on the spot and get them signed up and walk out. That you might be able to do that for a very, very small company, but the more money lies in the bigger accounts. And that requires the setup. You've got to get in there and pitch them, right? And then get the discovery call, which is where you uncover all the needs. And then you got to move to the proposal. Now, I've always relied on relationships versus cold calls, but I've always had to do a certain variety of cold calls. And a lot of times my cold calls were I mean, I've done the show up to a building, knock on a door and walk in and try to figure out who these people are. I mean, it's a different day and age, and I don't think that that's absolutely necessary. I think most of us, if we network and if we put ourselves in the right place, can get in front of people who know people. 1 or 2 degrees of separation, but absolutely, definitely work your relationships. Why do you think that I sell through a large network of distributors? Do you think it's because I'm lazy, or because I don't have the ability to go out in just Dallas, Texas, and generate millions upon millions of dollars of business? I mean, I have the expertise and I have the team to get it done, but I choose to network with you guys and offer you guys a substantial amount of profit, which really it's hard to get that kind of money at high-end digital marketing or development type stuff. But offer you guys a piece of the pie, a partnership between you and my company, because you have relationships, or because of your willingness to knock on doors. And from an exponential or scalability standpoint, it makes a lot of sense for me to focus on the technology and deliver expertise, and have you focus on developing the relationships and teeing up the appointments. And guess what? It works really well for us. But I do encounter a lot of partners who just still are holding on to an older mindset of where they want their customers to think they own the tech. They deliver everything. They can do everything themselves. And I promise you that if you're talking to a customer that has a budget and that is going to write a check, they're no fool. There's no way they won't write that check to you. Why? Because your competition is showing up with teams of experts. So here you are, not showing up at their doorstep, and you're wanting them to think that you're the digital guru. And there's gonna be a problem there. They're gonna be able to see it because of all of the presentations and all of the pitches that they're receiving. Now, if your client base is really mom and pops or out of home, very, very small companies, non-employer firm companies, then absolutely, you are the expert, because they don't know much about that. Heck, most of them don't even know about running a business. So it's going to be very easy for you to be the star or the hero in that situation. Now, in the bigger setups, I'm not saying you're not the hero or you're not the star. You are the star. Every one of our distributors, every one of our partners, right, that we go in and work with, they are the stars. The Verizon deal that we just wrapped up in June, Matt, my partner on that, he was the star, man. I mean, but he brought us in early on with Verizon, and we did the discovery call and the pitch. But he's been the guy kind of managing that campaign throughout the month of June, and it was a big success. So one of the things that I get into a lot, and I sent out a little profile doc on our company to everybody, but over and over and over again, I've got my distributors and my partners talking to their customers, and then their customers want to know who we are. They want our profile. They want to know our success stories. They want to know all this stuff. So suddenly it becomes the gotcha show. And I don't mind that. I mean, I don't mind that. I can hold my own. I can go toe to toe pretty much with just about any IT person or digital marketing person. Just about, right? There's a lot of people that know a lot more than me, but I have some other skill sets that allow me to be able to go toe to toe with these people. But, making it the gotcha show can be problematic, especially when you work for a $500 million company. And you're gonna put all that attention off of your $500 million company, the 800-pound gorilla in the room, and you're gonna put that on me. That's fine. I'll do it. But it can be somewhat frustrating if you guys have to understand what is the value proposition of the company that you work for and what are the strengths of that company. You should know because you do work for them. There's a reason why you're working for them. If you're just working because they're writing you a paycheck, I doubt that that's the case. You guys are strong performers. You're great salespeople. Understand the merits of why you're working for the company that you're working for. And when your customer kind of inquires into that, that is what I would put front and center. And that gotcha is strictly an exclusive partner who does nothing but work for your company. That's all you have to say. And I will back that up. We never sell direct. I won't sell around you. I won't backstab you. Believe me, we've been doing this now for 8 years solid. And we're very, very good at the relationships that we have with our partners. But when you talk about your experts, start with your company first. Start with yourself. I mean, you guys have been doing this for a long time. Some of you guys more than 20 years. You know what you're doing when it comes to selling and selling marketing services or selling services or for the most part, even products, but you're good salespeople. Make sure you rely on your company's reputation first and then our reputation. Then together, there's nothing we can do. And then the big thing is get the discovery call, right? And a lot of people are like, well, how do I get the discovery call? Tell them, look, we are doing some incredible things as it relates to digital marketing services. And I would love to do a free audit for your company. No problem. Right now we're doing it at no charge. These are very valuable, very nice audits. I mean, there's a lot of ways that you can get a customer to agree to a meeting, but schedule that discovery call. Now, you can invite us onto that discovery call, or you can do the discovery call yourself. But I don't think I would almost venture to guess that even the best knowledgeable one of you may not be prepared for every one of the discovery calls you have. And we show up with some beautiful research. And I would be willing to do research for any one of you who've attended this call and hand it over to you and let you guys run with it. I'm willing to do that a couple of times, because I got to know that we're getting some value back because we spent hours pulling this research together. We've got a lot of tools that we use. And tools are important, but knowing how to explain the research is really key. I mean, and not only do we just punch up some numbers in our tools, but we also modify the input that we put into the tools as we see results. We fine tune to get the results that we're looking for. And a lot of you guys have been on pitches with us. and you've seen just how good this thing goes. So, but if you don't want gotcha anywhere in the picture, hey, I'm happy to hand you a research report, and you can go to town with it. But I'm not going to sit here and do 5 or 10 of them without seeing any kind of results or any kind of business come in. I mean, I just can't, I can't afford to do it, not with all the hundreds of distributors we work with. So in order to win the business, you have to understand, right? You have to understand, Stephen Covey says, seek first to understand, then be understood. So you don't just walk in and start talking about how great you are, just start talking about the analysis. Very first thing I do a credibility statement, and then I ask them to kind of paint me a picture of what's going on with their business. I already have a good idea, but I want to hear it from them. And believe me, it's amazing how much they give us, how much they tell us. So understanding what's going on currently with their business, what are their business goals, what's their business history, what are their business challenges, how they go to market, how they make their money. Understanding that, and then delivering or reviewing the results of the report. What I do is, based on that conversation, I'm able to kind of hone in on what is needed. I've had a distributor tee up hey, I've got a customer that wants a mobile app. And I'm like, yeah, but we should get a discovery call to really find out what's going on. No, they just want a mobile app. I get on the phone with this guy and I explain to him a little bit about a mobile app and how his idea is going to require ongoing management by him. And next thing you know, and not only that he didn't necessarily have to develop a native mobile app, that we could do a web application off of his website, and that saved him a lot of money. But he didn't, on the fly, he abandoned that idea when he heard about how we provide on-page SEO, and he immediately jumped on on-page SEO. My distributor had no idea. And I'm able to handle that call. It's not a problem, but I didn't have any research with me because we were going to talk about a mobile app, a native mobile app. That's all he wants. And so now we had to reschedule the call for a discovery call. Guys, my time's extremely valuable, man. And I don't mind, I really don't mind kicking the can a little bit with my partners because I love you guys. And we make a lot of money together. But, time's valuable, and we want to make sure that we're working a process. Because at the end of the day, this isn't about ego for me. This is not about ego. This is about making you guys look as good as you can look, and ultimately making your customers look good. Delivering results for them. Most of the conversation in the discovery call is on the fly. Most of the conversation in the discovery call is on the fly. Nobody can walk in to a briefing and immediately know everything that the customer needs or that the customer wants. Every conversation's on the fly. That's why I've structured my discovery calls the way that I do them. So I start getting a customer to uncover needs. And guess what? You don't do a discovery call on a setup. You don't walk into a client's office and do a impromptu discovery call or try to uncover needs before that. I don't need to know anything excepting what time is the discovery call. If I was hitting the streets and selling, that's all I'd be doing is saying, look, when do you have time to review some research? Because we've got some incredible answers, and we're doing some really incredible stuff with predictive analytics, and we have some incredible proprietary tools. When do you have time for a call to just kind of go over some stuff? That's all I would say. And if they say, well, what kind of stuff? I say, look, let's get on a call, because I'll be able to answer that a lot more specifically once we look under your hood and we look at your competitors and we come up with some really good information and insight, business intelligence that's going to help you. But I mean, that takes preparation, which in return, you need to kind of get on a call if you're going to have my team do this. Boom. Now, selling products is a lot different. We have distributors that do nothing but walk into their customers and they sell local SEO. I never have to get on a discovery call. They know everything there is to know about our local SEO program. They walk in, they pitch it, they sell it, they send us the PO, we fulfill it, they manage it. It's not a problem. Same thing with Gotcha Stream, as a matter of fact. Already this week we've received a whole bunch of orders that just come in from purchase orders. Those are kind of products, but you know what? If you pitch them to a large company, you may be leaving a lot of money on the table because of lack of expertise to identify those needs and even knowledge of knowing how or what, if you even are able to take care of them. And knowledge and experience is power, right? Obviously, that's why I'm so good at what I do. It's not because I'm so smart. I'm really not. It's just that I've done things and I've seen situations over and over and over and over and over again. And school of hard knocks, man. I start learning and I figure it out. I've done well over 500 discovery calls, maybe well over 1,000, 2,000. Who knows, man? Those of you on this call that were involved with me 7.5 years ago when we did our first quote unquote pitches, man, I was talking about SMS messaging and QR codes like they were going to save the planet. Seriously. That was the best that I could do back then. Completely different ballgame today. So knowledge and experience is power, and it's very difficult for any consultant or sales consultant to learn all that's needed to be learned. It's just next to impossible. And then the last part is the proposal, right? You got to prepare the proposal. We prepare the proposals, or we put the numbers together and then we send them to you, and then you can send them to your client. I always do a proposal. Like if at the end of the discovery call, the client is interested in getting some numbers, I always schedule a proposal review. So what I recommend you do is if you're going to go ahead and do the discovery call and review all the research that you can pull yourself, if you have access to a number of tools and you want to spend a couple of hours kind of Googling and going through and looking at competitors and writing down notes and pulling all that together. If you pull this together and then you pitch your client, or you basically review the research, but most importantly, you have them tell you kind of what's going on, what are their needs, etc. And then they say, man, we want some pricing. Then you really want to schedule a time for you to kind of step back, pull your numbers together, maybe ask a few more questions, and then return back to your customer to kind of review the proposal. Now, Gotcha does that with our partners. We always, before we get off the discovery call, we'll schedule the proposal review time, and we'll come on, spend 50 minutes, review the proposal, shoot the proposal over to our partner will forward it to the client. So that's how we do it. That's how we work. But, I just wanted to, and we've got more classes coming on each one of our products. They're products. The services are a lot different. And we'll have some general webinars on our services so that you can feel more comfortable kind of talking about them. But I always am hesitant to advise anybody to start talking about anything, even nibbling on digital marketing, like on-page SEO, because your clients are always going to ask something you don't know how to answer. And that's where you really need to kind of pull in some experts. So that's pretty much all I've got for today. This has been recorded. We've got sales sheets. I'm going to send out an email tomorrow. You guys, should log into your dashboard, go to the documents section. You'll be able to see the documents. We're going to go through and make sure that all of it is uploaded. If anybody has any questions, by all means, you can either raise your hand or type them in here or send me an email. But it's pretty much what I got. Let me see. Make sure everybody's cool. Okay, look, we have a strong desire to engage with you, to be your partner. We understand you own the relationship with the client. We understand that you are our boss. We have a very, very strong desire to work with you guys. That's why I'm on this call, and hopefully that's why you guys are on this call. So just tell me how I can work with you. Let me see. Seth. Okay, I'll get you into the back office, Seth. I'll verify that, first of all, that you have an account, and I think you do, and then get you in. So, and we've got some really cool stuff coming down the pike too. some advancements. We've updated a lot of our products. We got some one of a kind stuff that it's definitely gonna be disruptive. Um, that's such a generic term, but anyway. Seth said he likes the Gotcha rocket. Yeah, I do too, Seth. All right, guys. Thank you very much for spending 30 minutes with me today. Let's follow up. Let's get some appointments, or tell me how I can support you, and I'll spend the time doing it. Thank you very much, and have a nice day.